As the sun started to set, Bobby, Bruiser, Allison, and I strolled into the park with a sense of excitement and anticipation. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the last of my stash, rolling a joint with expert precision. As we sat in a circle, passing the joint around and enjoying the buzz, we eagerly awaited Joel's arrival. The park had an eerie yet calming vibe as the shadows grew longer, and we all felt a sense of camaraderie and adventure as we shared this moment together. As we looked across the park, we saw a carnival. Bruiser and I looked at each other. With that look of time to create havoc, Allison suggested, "Let's crash the carnival and stir up some trouble." "That sounds like just the chaos we need," Bruiser said with a mischievous grin. "Well, we have some time to kill until Joel shows up." As we make our way across the park, we see Jimmy. Jimmy was one of the guys we grew up with, but he joined the North Siders. We knew why Jimmy was there. He was the guy who constantly peddled some illegal shit. We sent Allison up to distract old Jimmy. As soon as she had his back turned, Bruiser and I jumped him. I came up from behind and put them in a headlock as Allison took her Doc Martens and kicked him. She put her big boots right in the center of his gut. He went down like a ton of bricks. Bruiser got over the top of him and started beating them over and over. I thought he was going to kill him. "This is for Frankie, you piece of shit," Bobby and I had to pull him off. I said we just wanted the drugs, not to kill the guy. Jimmy was pretty tough, but Allison was a little bit tougher. He didn't want to give up the shit, but she took those big Doc Martens, set it right on top of his balls, and started to push down. Jimmy began to scream. Bobby put his hand on Jimmy's mouth so nobody could hear, and she kept pushing down. Bruiser had him around the neck, squeezing the life out of him as he started turning purple. "Just give me the shit, man." As I looked over to Allison, she had a grin. I've never seen her smile like it was personal. I never thought I'd see her like that, but there was something in the way she held herself that told me she was done playing games. Jimmy reached into his pocket, pulled out a bag of pills, and handed it to me. You could hear through his muffled screams. Stop, just let me go." Bruiser let go of his neck. I backed up, too, but Allison kept pushing his nuts to the pavement. He screamed so loud I thought we were going to all get caught. The way she looked at him, all the hate, all the anger, like a lifetime of torture she wanted to take out on one person. As she leaned down to look at him in his face, pushing deeper into his nuts, she said, "I own you, you know that. I have all the power and you have nothing." Bobby let go and backed up. Then she picked her boot up. I think Jimmy thought it was over, but for Allison, it's never over, and she took those Doc Martens stomped down on his balls. He screamed like he had been murdered and started to throw up, and then she laughed and turned to walk away. She stopped, leaned over her shoulder, and spit in his face. "Don't ever let me catch you around here again." She had this look of vindication on her face. Like Jimmy was an ex-boyfriend who had cheated on her, or maybe her dad. She giggled, something I had never seen her do before. Chapter 3. Midway of Ecstasy. As we walked away, I looked in the bag. Holy shit, I think we scored. It was ecstasy. About 30 pills shaped like little Fred Flintstones. I started splitting up the ecstasy, giving each person their share. All right, everybody, you know what to do. Let's sell this shit to some degenerate carnies. Bobby was the youngest and smallest one in the group. He was like the little brother who wanted to hang out with the big kids. But he had this charisma like no one else I had ever seen. Allison grabbed Bobby by the hand. "I'll take this one so he doesn't get lost." Kindly grabbing his hand as a boyfriend or girlfriend, holding hands Bruiser, and I looked at each other because Allison didn't care about anybody in a physical manner. "We're going to hit the park side and see who we can get this sold to," as they walked towards the other side of the park towards the baseball fields. Bruiser and I made our way across the park. We split up. Bruiser said, "I'm gonna go to the other side of the Midway down by the rides." We were going our separate ways. I reach into my pocket and grab 2 Fred Flintstones. As I look at them in my hand, I smile. I think today is going to be a good day. I pop both in my mouth. As I stepped onto the Midway, the melody of Nirvana smells like Teen Spirit, echoing down the Midway, the mini donuts, corn dogs, and funnel cakes invading my nose, making my stomach rumble with hunger, the sounds of bells ringing, the chattering of people, and the distant laughter of children mixed into a cacophony of excitement. People yelling who's next, who's ready to win, the lights flashing from every sign drawing you in like a moth to the flame. My heart quickened with anticipation. It was time to work my magic and make some quick cash, with the chaos of the carnival as my cover. The symphony of sounds of people winning and losing, laughing and crying, like a sensory overload, and I just stood there taking it all in. It felt so perfect, like I was exactly where I was meant to be. This was my element, my world, and I would thrive in it. Standing there, my moment of zen was interrupted. "Hey buddy, you ready to win one?" I turned over and looked. A scruffy guy was smiling at me with a gap-toothed grin. I smirked. "Sure, what's this all about?" in a deep Texas accent. "Well, all you gotta do is knock 3 down or knock 3 over." Looking into the game, these little fuzzy stuffed clowns sat on a shelf. There were all sorts of stuffed animals of all shapes and sizes up and down the sides of the game. As prizes. The game itself was made out of wood with a canvas top, so all I have to do is knock those clowns off the shelf. Yep, easiest as that. Leaning in and talking in hushed tones, "Well, I don't have any money yet, but I have something you might be interested in." Perplexed but intrigued. "What do you have?" Reaching in my pocket and grabbing a little Fred Flintstone. "Oh, maybe some X." That grin got so big from ear to ear. "Oh yeah, is it any good?" With a little chuckle, "It's good. I feel fuzzier than that clown over there." Pointing into the game. "Really?" as he rubs his hands across his unshaven chin. "And how much does this cost me?" "Only $5 a hit." "Nice." Looking at his watch, he said, "I can't do anything right now, but I got a little break in a little bit." I curled my hand back and stuck Fred back in my pocket. "All right, I'll be back." As I started to walk away, I turned around. "Hey, what's your name?" He waved his hands to come back closer to him so as not to yell real loud. "They call me Texas." I give him a fist bump. "All right, Tex, you know anybody else that might be interested?" with a chuckle as I had just asked the dumbest question on earth. "Oh yeah." He points down the Midway to the other end where the rides are. "You see that redhead down there? They call him Dauber." As I looked down the Midway, I saw this fiery redhead with gold eyes, jumping up and down, flailing around like he was at a rock concert, running a little kid airplane ride. "Yeah." He turns back to me, him and his buddy Dictator. "They'll probably buy everything you got, but don't forget about me." I give him another fist bump. "Thanks, Texas. I'll find you later." As I walk deeper into the carnival down the Midway, my senses get more assaulted by the chaos of everything. The X is starting to kick in. I can feel it through my whole body, the energy of this Midway like it's a living, breathing thing, something so foreign, but at the same time, it feels so natural, like breathing. Pop, pop, pop of balloons breaking, sending shock waves through my body like a sonic boom. I look to my left, at a game with this corny white boy with mullet spike hair on top and long, blonde hair down his back. He's yelling and laughing as he waves enticingly at passers-by, challenging them to take a shot and win a prize. His game was a giant board of balloons stretching across the entire back of the game, half of them blown up and half popped. There are stuffed animals of all shapes and sizes, the small ones at the bottom, and they got more prominent as they went up. Across the top, he had a pink and purple dragon that stretched from one end of the board to the other. Underneath it was a sign with hypnotic, blinking lights. Prize every time there were 2 girls sitting there, talking to him. He reached up to grab a pink teddy bear that was holding a heart that said, "I love you." Off the wall to give to a girl. That's right, girls. We got teddy bears for love affairs, and all kinds of affairs, with a wink and a smile. He hands the girl the teddy bear. My attention all of a sudden was pulled away. Bang, bang, smash, bang, bang, smash, smash, so loud I had to cover my ears. Bang. It was so intrusive on my body it was making my eyes shake. I could feel it in my chest. I could barely look up to see what was going on a bit down the Midway, and I could see a group of people standing around a red game with white trim. They were high-fiving each other and laughing. As I walked closer, I could see inside it was a shelf with holes in it that was holding beer bottles upside down. There was a big sheet of tin hanging from ropes behind the bottles that would make a loud bang when they missed. As I got closer, I could see piles of broken glass on the ground. Smash! A ball hits a beer bottle, and it explodes. A chunk of glass comes flying through the air, hits me in the arm. The guys in front of the game high-five each other again. He points into the game at a net holding batting helmets of various baseball teams. Give me the Colorado Rockies helmet, his buddy behind him. Yeah, you said he only had to break one more. The girl steps away from the side, grabbing the helmet. You're right, you can have this helmet, holding a Colorado Rockies batting helmet. Or turning and pointing to the other wall of the game, which was covered in various baseball jerseys. You break 3 more, and you can trade that helmet in for something really nice. The girl running the game was a pretty young, maybe 17.54, with long brown hair, sky blue eyes, and 140 pounds she was wearing a Seattle Mariners jersey that was 2 sizes too small, the top 2 buttons undone, her boobs pushing out of the top with Daisy Dukes on. She was tan like the sun had kissed her skin, handing the man the helmet. You guys think about it for a minute. I have to clean up. As she bends over with her, but facing the guys, her tight shorts, squeezing her butt out the bottom. Without a second thought, the man reached in his wallet to hand the girl a $20 bill. The girl turns around and reaches down with her boobs nearly falling out of her jersey to pick up 3 more balls. Here you guys go, good luck. Once again, my zen was interrupted, this time with more of a familiar sight. I saw Bruiser off in the distance. He had gotten himself into another fight. Some guy had walked by him, calling him a skinhead Nazi piece of shit. Bruiser was a skinhead, but not a racist. He hated everybody equally, so Bruiser grabbed one of those folding tables, ripped the leg off, and started beating the guy. Just then, another guy came in from behind and smashed a beer bottle over Bruiser's head. It didn't even faze him. He swung around with that piece of pipe. He laid that guy out with one hit as I ran towards him to help. 2 more guys jumped in to beat Bruiser up, but he just kept swinging that piece of pipe, taking everybody out blow by blow. Before I could reach him, everybody was on the ground bleeding or knocked out, but Bruiser knew before long the cops would be there. He walked towards me so calmly, as if nothing had happened. He got close, handed me his 9mm and his portion of the X, and said, "Catch you back at the house. If I get another charge, they'll put me away for good this time." Bruiser had 2 felony warrants out for assault, and he knew that once he got caught, he was going to be put anyway for a long time, and with everything else going on, we needed him more than ever. Yeah, man, I'll see you back at the house. You be safe now. Don't let the Northsiders catch you out by yourself. I had to sit down. The X was starting to wall at me as I was sitting on the curb with my back against another game. All of a sudden, I felt something touch my ear, and it sent fuzzy waves down my whole body. As I tilted my head back to look up, I see this beautiful woman in a low-cut shirt, her boobs nearly falling out of the low-cut shirt. She had short green hair in a pixie cut, and one of the most beautiful smiles you have ever seen. In the softest voice she said, "What are you sitting down there for, silly?" As I stood up and turned around, she had the most beautiful green eyes that I could not take my eyes off of. The sensually touched my hand and pulled me closer into her and asked me if I would like to try this. As I gazed into her eyes ever deeper, my heart pounded. My hands were starting to sweat. I felt this overwhelming sexual desire for her. In a sensual voice, "Do you want to try this?" She looked deeper into my eyes as my heart pounded even harder. "All you have to do is put one in and get the big one." My brain was going all over the place. "I can't believe this is happening." She leans over the counter closer to me. "It's only $1. I snapped back, completely perplexed by what she was talking about. She points into the game at the basket. "All you have to do is put one in the basket, and you get the big one," pointing up to a giant stuffed animal. It snapped me back to reality, stuttering over my words. "No, I have no money. Would you like some X?" She bent over towards me, putting her elbows on the table, pushing her boobs further out of her shirt, mocking me with I have no money, but maybe when we close tonight, We could work something out. I'm still tripping over my words. Sure, like, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. She took the back of her hand and rubbed it across my cheek and down my neck. Out of nowhere, bang. The counter I was leaning on shook. I turned to look. It was that redhead dauber. Is this the dude? Looking at the girl. I believe so. He said he's got some. Is that true, dude? You got the shit, man. The X? Yeah, I got some X, I said, looking at this hyperactive redhead. Okay, dude, I want $50 worth, and so does Dictator. I reach in my pocket for it. Hey man, what the fuck are you doing? Not here, not now, not until we're done for the night. I haven't got my draw yet. As I looked at him, perplexed. Draw? What are you talking about? He started laughing, money man, thoroughly confused. Doesn't anybody have money? They laughed. Don't you know where you are? We don't have money till the end of the night after we've hustled all these poor saps out of the rent money. Well, shit, that sucks. What time do you guys close? Not until everybody's broke. Fuck, now, what do I do? I need to sell this and make some money so we can help get some of that coke off of the Chavez brothers. Walking back down the Midway with my head slung low, trying to figure out a plan to make money, I hear, "Hey, Harry." I look up, and this guy is looking right at me. I looked at both sides of me and saw nobody. Are you talking to me? Pointing at my chest, yeah, I'm talking to you, Harry. Get the fuck over here. His game was this old orange wooden game with an orange and white faded canvas top. In the center was a table with white cups and a handful of colored ones with wiffle balls lying about. Stuffed animals were hanging above the game center from small chains draping down the table. Each corner had white unicorn stuffed animals 4 feet tall tied to the corners. Around the table, there were much smaller stuffed animals, hanging from chains like a skirt, hiding the legs of the table. They were black Rottweilers and red dragons. From a distance, they looked nice, but as you got closer, you could see how they were misshapen and off-colored. They were dirty, and you could tell they had been hanging there a long time. The man was sitting on the corner of the game with one leg on the ground and the other on the counter. He had a black leather coat with white fringes, blue jeans, and cowboy boots. He had long, healthy, black hair and a smile like a serial killer, and you could tell he was stuck in 1983 and never wanted to leave. Yeah, what's up? What do you need? I don't have any money to play your game. Where's your buddy? The one with that punk chick, what his name as he snaps his fingers a couple of times, that blonde kid who is swinging out of his league. Yeah, that's Bobby. Why I get the same thing he has? No, that's not what I'm looking for. He said he was going to work for me shagging balls. Wait, what are you doing? Me? Pointing at my chest again. Yes, you get the fuck in here. I'll pay you, as I think about the fact that I have no money but the $10 in my pocket. Okay, I got nothing better to do until you guys close down for the night, so I jump into the game. What do I gotta do? He reaches under the table to grab a money apron, make the change, and hand out balls. I think to myself, is this a good idea? Okay, that sounds easy enough, so I slide over the counter and into the game. The man throws me the money apron. Okay, Harry, when I ask for change, I won't ask for a 5 or 10. I'll ask for a fin or a sawbuck. As it sounds like he's speaking a different language, I reply, a fin or a sawbuck. What are you talking about? Visibly frustrated, the man looks down and says, you sucking zark, I'm talking about making change. Okay, a 5 is a fin, 10 is a sawbuck, a 20 is a double, a 50 is a half yard, a 100 is a yard. You got it. Once again in my head, I think it is this guy on drugs too. Maybe he is, but I can work with that. I think I got it. The man rolls his eyes. Well, you better have it or it's coming from your end. As I am all wrapped up, trying to think of how he wants me to count money, I forget to ask him. How do I make money? Okay, how much will you pay me? The man is counting money to put in my apron. You get 10 points on the dollar. Oh great, this guy is talking gibberish again. What? The man puts his hand on his forehead, shaking his head. You get 10 cents every time you bring in a dollar. The more dollars you bring in, the more money you make. Do you get it now? Yeah, I got it. So what's your name, kid? Wait, Never mind. I don't want to know. I'm going to call you Harry, I thought. This guy is definitely on drugs. Okay, I guess. So what do I call you? You can call me Waco. All I can think about is that crazy guy who killed all those people in Waco, Texas. Waco, huh? Are all you guys from Texas? Nope, just me and Texas. And this guy named Dallas. The rest of these guys are from all over the place. Tex raised me from a kid. We used to be on a big show. That's what you call a carnival, a show. Tex is a roughie from way back when you could only be married in or born into the show. Back before, it was family fun for everyone. Back when you could gamble and make real money in this game. Now, the laws turned us into beggars and thieves, begging for dimes for stupid stuffed animals. As we got a break in the action, I asked Waco if I could have a break because I had not eaten all day, and my stomach was rumbling with the smell of food permeating. My nose only made it worse. Hey, Waco, do you think I could run and grab something to eat? With his head down, counting money from his apron. Yeah, go ahead, but hurry up. You never know when it's going to get busy again. I take off my apron and hand it to Waco. He grabs it where it faces up, then folds the top to the middle and the bottom to the middle, and then rolls it up, taking the tie string, wrapping it around the rolled up apron. This is how you hand your apron to somebody this way. Nobody can reach in and grab your money. I looked at him, nodded, and gave him a thumbs up. I'll be back. As I slid over the counter, reaching into my pocket, I started counting the money that I had from earlier, thinking, damn, I only have $10. All the food is so expensive. I walked to the funnel cake stand. There's a man inside, a huge man. He's what you would imagine Lil Jon would look like from the Robin Hood stories, with a long, scruffy beard but a warm, inviting smile. As I walked to the window, I asked for one of the funnel cakes, and he looked at me like, "Are you working with Waco and the Goblet?" I nodded yes, okay, it's only $3. I was thrilled because when I walked up, I could see it was $6 on the sign, watching him make the funnel cake with such precision. Still, barely paying attention to what he's doing as if he has done this so many times that he could do it sleeping, he turns back to me. So how are you liking it? As I was mesmerized. Watching the funnel cake cook, I turned back to him. It is amazing. I love this. I want to do this for the rest of my life. He sits back in his chair with a jolly laugh. Whoa, slow down there, tiger. It's only been one night. Smiling back at him, yes, but there's something so natural, like I was always meant to be here. He turned back to the final cake with a pair of tongues. He grabs it from the fryer, throws it on a paper plate, and puts powdered sugar on it. He set it in the window. $3. I reach into my pocket for my money. Oh yeah, can I get a Mountain Dew too? Reaching into the cooler, I grab a cold Mountain Dew and set it in the window next to the funnel cake. Once again, look to me. $3.50. I handle the $3.50 and walk away. As I sit on the park bench, eating my funnel cake and observing the comings and goings of people, my eyes get fixed on the long-range basketball game. The girl running looks very sporty, with short hair, a black sports bra, yellow basketball shorts, and a pair of Chuck Taylors on her feet. As she dribbles the ball from her left to her right hand, waiting for somebody to play her game, she looks at the long-range hoop, does a jump-back fade shot, and swooshes right through the net. Her game is a couple of boards with nets all around and one underneath the hoop to roll the ball back to her down. The nets are on all four sides. On the nets, the prizes hang a 3-foot-tall white line on the net, 30 of them down each side. Depending on the nets, a sign on either side of the game says "won" in wins choice. Observing for a bit longer, I see a man approach the girl. He hands her some money and grabs the ball out of her hand, dribbling it a couple of times. He squares up his shot and shoots. Bang! It hits the rim and bounces back. She quickly grabbed the ball and looked at the man with her hand out, seeming to ask for more money as I was too far away to hear what she was saying. You can tell the man is upset. He starts arguing with the girl. She points out to ask him to go away. He is visibly angry and tries to grab the ball from the girl again. She snatches it out of his hands and throws it into the game, where he cannot get it, points down the midway again, as to say, "Get the fuck out of here." The man, severely frustrated by this point, pushes the girl and she falls backward over the edge of the game. I fixed my eyes on the girl to see if she could get back up. I saw something out of the corner of my eye. It was a native man, but he looked young, like a boy. He was about 6 feet 6 inches and weighed about 230 pounds. He started pushing the man and pointing his chest to say, "Try that on me," and the man swung at the native boy. He landed the punch square in the boy's chest and did not move an inch. The boy hit him back squarely in the chest. The man fell right on his ass. Before you knew it, 5 carny came out of nowhere and started to surround the man. I thought they were going to beat him to death, but they just started pushing him down the midway, making him leave in the beginning. The man seems tough picking on a girl, but now I think he knows the error of his ways. The native boy turned back to the girl, dusting her off with a kind hand, making sure she was okay.